Okay, hi everyone, I'm Rich, welcome back to BB's Customs. Today I have my first proper look at how I want to lay out my new workshop. Okay, so I've never put my own workshop together before. I've had garages and things which I've worked in, but I've never specifically set out an actual working space before, so this is all a bit new to me. In my mind, I know what it is I want to do. The workshop I'm getting is 12 by 8 feet with a nice double door in the middle, so there's going to be plenty of space in there. I think that works out to be a little over 90 square feet. So the plan is, I've got some check paper, I've got pens and tape measures and rulers, and I'm going to sketch out the basic floor plan of how I would like the workshop space to be laid out, trying to keep a nice decent space for working in the middle, somewhere for shelves, somewhere for my new workbench, which I managed to pick up for a bit of a steal. It's got a nice it's got a record number 23 vise on it, and so fabrication of things is going to start getting a lot easier as well. I won't have to use the workmate anymore, so make sure I've got nice bit of space for that. And then obviously I've got, because it's a household shed, I've got to have some of the domestic stuff, some push bikes and things in there as well. So yeah, let's have a look and see what sort of plans I can get to utilise the space as best I can. Right, so this is what I've got drawn out at the moment. This is the footprint of the shed. So each of these squares represents 1 square foot, divided into quarters. So 1 square of the squared paper would be, what would that be, 3 square inches. I've given it this brown, so the outside is the 12 by 8. For the inside dimensions, I've just given it a 3-inch border around the whole thing, because there's going to be wooden joists and things in there. So yeah, it's probably not going to be 3, it's probably going to be more like 2, so I'm going to have a little bit of extra wiggle room. But yeah, that's what I've got for now. To figure out where things go, I've got the colour and pencils out, and I've been measuring up stuff, and I've got some little bits cut out already. So this one represents my workbench I've just picked up. It's 21 inches wide, 21 inches deep, 48 inches wide, with a vise on the end. This is all to scale, so where I'll put things on here, in theory they should fit in exactly the same space when the shed turns up. This is sort of what I've designated as my build space, so I'm going for a 6 by 4 foot space to keep clear, to have the bike in there for working on. I've currently got, in my little shed out there, I've got 2 sets of shelves, which are 48 by 18 inches each. I do have another one collapsed down, which I can build up, so I could potentially have 3 of these. So it's just a case of putting them down in here to try and get the best sort of workspace. So in my mind, I kind of want to wheel the front through the double doors here, wheel the bike through the double doors here, and have it straight into the build space. So this whole space in the middle would be for the bike, and then sort of use that as the dividing part of the workshop. So the one side would be for working, the other side would be for the household stuff, for the push bikes and things. All my tools and things at the moment fit on 2 shelves, or 2 sets of shelves. So I'm kind of thinking, because there's going to be windows along this front bit either side of the door, that's going to be letting in the natural light, which is going to be better to work with. There's also going to be lighting inside, so it's not a huge issue. But I thought the bench kind of fits nicely in there. It does encroach a tiny bit onto the build space, but only by a couple of inches. It's not going to be a huge issue. The shelves, I don't know, I was thinking maybe maybe an L formation in the corner like that, but then that sort of gives a dead space in here, which would make it difficult to get stuff. The other option would be to have them going straight across the back like that, but it's not, the whole thing with this 3-inch border around it isn't quite wide enough to have three sets of shelves, which is a shame because that would have been quite nice. But that gives a decent little space in here. What's that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. That's a 4 by 4 foot space for me to be in and to have the camera in. It's also, this isn't just going to be a big block of space here, so there's going to be a bit to walk in here. The bike's probably going to be diagonal in this, so I can get easily to where I need to be, and I can just pick it up and move it over if I need to get stuff out of this side. I mean, push bikes and things, they can just tuck up in. I might have them so they're stood upright. You can get these little brackets to bolt them on the wall, so instead of being in the shed like this, you can have them so they're up vertically like this against the wall. Maybe get another set of shelves built up and put that down here, or maybe up at this side. Up at this end would probably be better, so we can have like the lawnmower and things on here, tools and things on the shelves over here. Yeah, I think that'll be okay. The other option, of course, is to move the build space over to the corner. So the build space is right the way over here, and have some shelves there, some shelves there, and have the workbench probably still where it was, but then you've got this big space here which isn't really going to be used for anything. What about putting it that way? You have the build space that way and have bench there, or maybe bench. See, that would work okay, but the vise is obviously, it needs room for the handle to spin round. It's quite a big vise, and it's already bolted to the bench, so I don't really want to move it over because I'm going to have holes in the bench. If I have it that way, and then I can there needs, if I got long bits of bar in, they're going to be sticking out as well. So, oh, this is tricky. Shelf, shelf. Not quite enough room for the bench because the bench is actually as long as the shelves are. I think we still have the bench down here. I think the original plan was the best one. So bench, build space. Well, we could have shelf there, shelf here, and shelf here. Let me just make another one of these and we'll add that on. Okay, so we've got another shelf. So what was that? That was there. And another one there. Sorry if I sound a bit different at the moment. I had bloody runny nose and sniffles last time. Now I've got a sore throat. I'm getting it all at the moment. Okay, so this way, maybe put the build space that way. My phone just went off. What happened there? Oh, nothing. Right, so go away. Build space, I like the bench being by the windows for the light reasons. That's a decent space to stand in and work, because that's almost 2 feet deep, which is that far. Don't know if you can see that. That far, which is plenty big enough for me to stand in because I'm only small. I keep going back to that. I like this idea of having the build area straight in front of the door. What if I had the corner units for the shelves like that? Then I've got extras. I've got half again the amount of shelves of what I've got at the moment. Still a big space here to put the family stuff in. Enough room there to do what I need to do. And if I want to put another set of shelves up in here somewhere, I can at a later date. Yeah, if I can set the tripod up in here so that you guys can have the best view you can, I think that may be a winner. It's only a rough plan. It may change. It may change when I build it. I might get in there and think, actually, I want this over here. But yeah, that's something good to go by at the moment. Whilst it's still light outside, let's have a quick look at the vise and bench I just got, so you can see just what this thing is. So this is the bench. It's old, it's dirty, but it's really solid. It's something good to work on. It's got a nice big chunky vise on here. It's a little bit worse for wear, but it all works nicely. Hold onto here so that opens up. There's great big jaws on there. Nice and sturdy. Decent steel top, so I can do all the welding on there now instead of on the Workmate. What I'm planning on doing is in this space here, I'm going to build a sort of like a holding area to put the welder in, so I don't have to carry it around anymore. It'll all be in the welding area of the workshop. I won't have to move it around. I can just plug it in and be gone, which will be nice and handy. It's got shelf storage in there, so I can put spare bits and things in there which don't get used regularly. Yeah, not bad for a Facebook find. So when the shed's in, that'll all fit in there nicely. Well, thanks very much for watching this. This is like probably, let's call it episode 1 of soon to be workshop topics, or I'll think of something smart to call the playlist. If you can see something which I'm missing on the layout for this, then obviously feel free, chuck it in the comments. Let me know if you've done something similar. If you've managed to get a really nice usable space from a small area, then that'll be great to see how you guys have done it. I mean, I've said it in previous videos, it's nothing stupid if it works. So even if it's a case of having to move things around, putting stuff on wheels, that bench is on wheels. Well, half of it is. It's got wheels at one end, legs on the other, so if I need to move it, I can. So yeah, thanks again for all your continued support. It's much appreciated. Any comments will get replies, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers. Before you disappear, next time, fingers crossed, I will have a chance to get back and start doing some on that bike. The material has now turned up for the battery box and the electrical box, so it won't be long until I can show you how to make your templates up, get the steels all cut up and welded in place for that, and yeah, hopefully in a few weeks I'll be in a position where we can start that thing back up again and just make sure I put the engine together properly, which is something both terrifying and exciting. But yeah, thanks again. I'll catch you next time.